everybody, and welcome to the Redneck Catholic, where I talk about religious, moral, and social issues from the perspective of a Catholic who lives in the rural South. Today I'm going to be discussing a topic that I think is pretty relevant for a lot of people, particularly for those who have this objection to not just Catholicism and Christianity in general, but kind of in a broader sense, all religion. A lot of people object to religion in general on these terms that I'm about to discuss. And I think this reason that a lot of people have for rejecting organized religion is a really bad one. There are other reasons out there, but I want to tackle this one reason today. The reason I think is one of the worst possible reasons to reject organized religion. I also think I should point out, by the way, that this objection is not so much, this video is not so much aimed at people who are atheists, who are, do not believe in any God at all. This is more aimed at people who are open to the idea of there being a God, or who even expressly believe in a God, but are just not open, who are just kind of against or maybe on the fence about organized religion. So, this objection runs something like this. Religion has been used to justify a lot of evil and bad actions in the past. People who use this argument will point to things like the Crusades, the jihads, I don't know how to speak Arabic, but the Crusades, the jihads, the settlement of Latin America on the part of the Spaniards, and basically a lot of injustices committed towards people, be they wars or subjugation or whatever it is. A lot of this has been done in the name of organized religion. And basically this argument says, because all these bad things have been done in the name of organized religion, I don't want anything to do with organized religion. But here's the problem with that. You could go and take this idea, right? In this case, religion. You could take this idea that says religion is responsible for all these bad things that have happened, and you could go apply that to anything. Pretty much anything. So to give you an example, I'm going to go to the exact opposite religion, secularism, right? Secularism is the idea that we don't want a whole lot of religion in our society. And secularism has also been used to commit egregious crimes in the past. Examples include the French Revolution in France, where sometimes monks and priests were executed if they wouldn't swear loyalty to the state and submit to the government's control over religion. Another example would have been the Bolshevik Revolution, in which thousands of priests and monks and nuns were killed by the secular government. Another example would be Mexico in the 1920s, when, again, a secular government, in the name of secularism and separating church and state, basically went about harshly treating and often executing priests and other religious people. And that would go on to trigger a war in Mexico. But that's its own story. And so in reality, you could say that religion is the problem here, but if you're against religion, then that means you're probably a secularist. And if you're a secularist, well, people have done all sorts of horrible things in the name of secularism that are just as bad as what's been done in the name of religion. And to give you an idea of how extensive this issue is, I could point to almost any cause, not just on the spectrum of religion versus secularism. Like, take, for instance, social and economic equity, right? That the idea of trying to have economic equity where everyone has a similar amount of wealth. Most people will say that that's at least somewhat of a good idea. You don't want some people to be super rich while others are super poor. Well, people following that ideology used it to justify theft of private property and, even worse, mass murder of innocent people. In fact, 100 million people have been killed, according to some estimates. This number can go anywhere from what I've seen to about 60 million to like 150 million. But we know that dozens upon dozens of millions of people have been killed by movements that are based on trying to create economic equity. For instance, communism in China and in Russia and in Vietnam under the control of people like Mao Zedong of the Chinese Communist Party, Joseph Stalin of the USSR, Vladimir Lenin, his predecessor, and Pol Pot in Vietnam. So social equity, which is an economic equity, which is something I think many people are at least for to some degree or another. That cause has been used to justify forcing it on people and killing off the people who won't give up their own private property. And I think we can all agree that that's wrong. So the point here is any idea can be used to commit horrible, horrible things. And here's the thing about religion. Most religions, not all necessarily, but most religions actually explicitly condemn unjust violence in their creeds. Like take, for instance, Catholicism. That's what I am. I'm a Catholic, so I know a little bit more about this than I do most religions. In Catholicism, to commit any kind of unjust act of violence, so to murder anyone, sends you straight to hell unless you repent and convert afterwards, and confess your sin. But confession is a whole nother story. The point is that murdering someone is considered a horrible, horrible evil in Catholicism. And some other Christian denominations like Quakers and Mennonites completely ban killing anyone for any purpose, even self-defense. So that's just within Christianity here that I'm talking about, but most religions have some kind of prohibition on horrible acts committed towards people. So when religious people who belong to these religions commit evil acts and go about murdering or whatever, they're actually not following their own faith. To blame religion here is kind of ridiculous. It's like, should we blame the religion that says you can't ever murder someone, or should we blame the person who adheres to that religion who disobeys that religion and starts murdering people? I think we should say it's the person who disobeys the religion and starts murdering people that's at fault here, not the religion that says you shouldn't murder people. So that's the issue there. Yes, certainly, people of all kinds of religious backgrounds, including my own, including Catholicism and all of Christianity, really. People have done horrible things, and they have used their religion as a way to back it up, but they've been intentionally trying to come up with ways to defend their own actions. So they'll bring religion into the picture to kind of try to cover themselves up, even if that religion teaches the exact opposite of what they're doing. And to provide some counterexamples to the idea of horrible religious people doing these horrible things, I would like to point out the fact that most of the greatest people in recent memory who have brought about the best kinds of change in modern society were very deeply religious people. For example, Mother Teresa, the famous Nobel Peace Prize winner known for her work serving the poorest of the poor in places like India, was a Catholic nun. Martin Luther King Jr., the famous civil rights advocate in the 1960s, was a Baptist preacher. And Mahatma Gandhi, the famous nonviolent activist from India, was a devout Hindu. This goes to show that it's often the most religious of people who are among the best of people. So the point is, it's unfair to totally discredit the idea of organized worship of God based on the fact, it's not just an idea, I concede it is a fact, that people who have followed religion, whatever religion it may be, in the past and in the present, have done horrible things in the name of that religion. That does not mean that the religion itself is an evil thing, because people have done horrible and evil acts in the name of almost every cause under the sun. You can go look up, for instance, eco-terrorism. I don't know if y'all knew that was a thing, but the idea of wanting to protect the environment is good. I think we can all be on board with that to some extent or another. But obviously, burning people's property or committing arson, or sometimes giving death threats, I think we can all agree that that's an evil thing to do. So any cause can be used to justify evil acts. And furthermore, as I said earlier in the video, most of these religions we're talking about prohibit evil acts. And so the people committing these actions are usually acting in conflict with their own faith rather than following their faith. That's what I've got to say. I hope you all like this video. Hope you all have a good day, and I hope to see you again soon on the Redneck Catholic. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you can, because I'm trying to grow this channel, so I appreciate all the help I can get. Thank y'all, and have a good day.